usually is the worst one, that it is very complicated, and this is the first time ever that was perfect. Like silence, balance, everything, and Sahir usually is the one that tells us everything. You are wrong, it's right. Like this is the first time that he was like, yeah, well, good. Like, so, thank you. The first tip was he usually test if we are in the center, like smelling the fear, the pain, stuff like this. But he was really quiet because he felt that everyone was really focused on what they were doing, what you were doing, so it was not comfortable for him. So that was really nice. That give me everything that that you have as pain, as the darkness that you have within, so I can use it as fuel to open the gates, to open the doors. Boom took all that as a fuel, and the third one was the one opening the gates with the sounds that we were doing. So we could reach the information up. Basically, in words, he said that we are used to a darkness that has been designed for duality. So we know the darkness of going against each other, the conflict, fighting against the other one. But actually, what is coming in this next time, it's a very updated darkness, which is part of unity. So it's not in the duality system, which means that this is very much strong darkness because it uses light also, meaning that it doesn't matter if we fight it so the planet doesn't have the darkness will be here anyway. So basically he said just sit and relax if you need, okay, because it will come, and it will come through technology like a virus, and it will control everyone, so get used to it. Basically he said that. But you have an option. The option is to use the tool of darkness related to unity, which is evolution. So how do you do that? Taking the virus inside, updating the system within, improving your own body to be able to manipulate the system instead of the system manipulating you. So basically the idea is we are not here anymore in this new time to fight against the darkness so the planet could be light. We are here to work for unity. And in unity you need to know the tools of darkness in order to know how to survive the system that is coming. That is inevitable. It will come anyway. So the goal that we have is to know how to transcend that kind of darkness in order to make it conscious with clarity, in the same way as we accept a virus inside and we evolve. So that's basically what he said. Because we have been practicing duality, fighting to one another, but the very ancient system that the real darkness created was evolution. So you have to adapt in order to survive, not to fight. And everything went kind of around that all the time. So regarding that new system, they said is that one of the systems that we are feeding constantly is survival. And survival is fed by the concept of salvation. So the light, the system of the light, usually wants to save the world, to save the other, to help the other. For what? For the other to keep living. But that's a very ancient concept of survival. You want to save the other because you don't want for them to die. But that's a system that repeats constantly because death is inevitable. So you will die anyway. So you are fighting against a system that is impossible to save. So let it all die. That's what he said. Let it all die, transcend death, and start to live instead of survive. That's what basically he said. So in order to transcend the new system, you have to stop survival. So stop believing that you have come here to save the planet and start to die so you can really do something. Basically, so that was like his message. And the second thing was about enlightenment and light, that we are, through light, we are always looking for enlightenment, but we are looking for enlightenment inside the light. So which star or which sun can shine aside the other one? So you have to be surrounded by darkness in order to see how much you can shine. So that's why also they were saying, remember the importance of the darkness in the system, so you don't lose your time living under the light of others. Something like this. Many of us work in service to others, to help others. So what do we do? So it's basically the concept. Why do we do it? To save the other so the other one doesn't suffer? Or we do it to help the other to transcend what the reality that person is living. So this is the change of concept that we have to do for the new time. Instead of trying for everyone to be saved, we have to help everyone to transcend the reality they are living. The new virus will come through technology. So at least you all know already how to.
He said also that we go like these stones.
Yes. Yeah. So it's good that you know this. Yeah. It's good that you know this, because at least you know how to handle this new reality, new environment. And he said was, this is not for helping us or selling us. This information we are receiving is for others yet to come. So we have to take this to put it in the pyramid so we can spread it to everyone in the system, not to keep it for ourselves.
Not to keep it for ourselves is different than not for ourselves.
It's not for ourselves.
Yeah.
Eventually will if we reincarnate. It was that the tools that we are receiving are for the new system that will be with us for the next 12,000 years. So we are kind of uploading data so we know how to handle the beginning of this new system coming for the next 12,000. We have to lower our frequency to the mountains again, so we can evolve in that system. Because we think that from plants we go to animals, from animals to humans, from humans to angels, from angels to archangels, and then God. But actually, it's frequency. So, animals, humans, lands, stones. Okay? So, it's like, yeah? So that's why we have to tune ourselves again to the new system coming, which is also, again, based in stones. Crystals. What she said was, one of the feelings she had was regarding the system that is maybe, because we have to become Earth, the reality. It's not maybe that we are trying to receive a new system of darkness or whatever, but we are trying to adjust to something that we already know and it's part of us, like quartz, like the minerals, the crystals, because it's technology. Okay, it's based in quartz, silica, and these kind of things. So basically, what I was saying is that, well, you've heard the frequency of history. Usually, we believe it goes in a straight line up, like from minerals 12,000 years ago, then plants. We brought all the information through the plants. Then we started with the animals. Then we became humans, and we started to use human technology. But then we started to came back to the stones, sadly, because of phones, technology, computers. So because of that, we start to lower our vibration again to the mountains. So it was like, it's not that we are going to angels, blah, blah, blah. We are like, and it's not bad. It's just another level of that vibration, a transcendental level of the mineral realm. Okay, so that's why we have to adjust our bodies to the mineral realm in order to survive the new system. Because if we are thinking of going to the angels, we will suffer. Something maybe. So, but when he said it was not to fight against it, but to become it in order to transform it with awareness. So there's nothing you can't do. There is no way to fight it. So you have to become it in order to change it. So use the tools of the darkness in order to bring the light. Basically, that's what he said. You didn't hear. It was like to each one of us in the circles of the constellations. It was like downloading the new codes for the new way in which the constellations will be absorbed by us or lived by us, because we have the archetypes as the constellations like separate, but it's like all of them integrated for the new ones to come. So basically it was like other beings creating the axis for each one of us to download that data, that information. Well, basically, she said, and suddenly they said, become the stone. So she had to rub the stone and feel how she was becoming the stone. So it was kind of making a summary. So it was in the axis. So she was sharing that as being there in the axis, it was like perfect, because for a long time she has been brought to work with the darkness first against, like fighting for 2 years and struggling with the darkness until she started to learn how to love the darkness, and how they help her by their experience to improve, to evolve faster than we usually do. So by loving the darkness was kind of integrating everything and improves the system much more faster than going against them, because they know how it works. So it was describing how it felt to be supported by the other four, because they were in the core. So the feeling, the sensations were like holding the axis of the entire temple there, and when the darkness came inside of me, it was received straight with the eyes of her. So it was like someone known, maybe. Yeah. So it was like perfect somehow that you have to be there. So I don't know if I can create something, but well, this is the main message: is the importance of not being against it, but know how to embrace the darkness in order to improve faster, because they know the way, they know the path here on this planet. About precisely this, to shine in the darkness. If we are much more comfortable being planets surrounding someone that shines, or if we rather work for us to become suns or stars, that the only way to shine is to acknowledge where that light comes from. And light is not the first thing that appears in the universe. Light comes from the discharge of energy that comes from the magnetism in between the different particles that creates so much strength and power that ignites. So they said it's important to understand the different dualities, the darkness that had created the matter that shows the light that allows you to shine. What he said is, as big as is the gravity, as big as the duality, the power, the strength, the pressure of something, the brightest is the light. Como las estrellas, como los soles, que pulsan por millones de kilómetros, es importante entender que lo hacen debido al peso que tienen. So it's important to know that they shine a lot, the stars, the suns, throughout millions of light years in the system, because they are under a lot of pressure and gravity. What we explain is that the beings that are the spiritual beings that are in the subtle planes, they design pressure systems, matter systems that are heavy, that are under pressure, so they could create path to acknowledge the enlightenment. You cannot understand light in subtle planes, because the only way you can enlighten yourself is through the path of gravity and density. So that's why most of the beings that exist here are beings that have been designing its own path towards illumination in density. So that's why he said, try to find where is your biggest pain or suffering, so it becomes like the negative particle that has negative charges. So with your being, which is the positive, can create energy and then create the spark of light. Pain, the suffering, that system is a necessary tool for the being the positive to create energy in order to find enlightenment. This is why as much heavier the external, the brighter the being. Okay? The state of millions of people putting their weight of pain into someone that has to suffer in order to enlighten. Necessary to believe like this, but it's normal that when we are looking for much more light, the heavier is the bar. So it can be like the negative energy with the positive, which we are in the spiritual realm, to create energy so we can create the spark.